We're still the one that builds our roads on our street. We're still the one that produce our security. We're still the one that build our boreholes.
Even though the finance minister says we're not paying enough tax.
I will not.
That was my reaction too when she said it.
Okay,
I will refuse to comment on that.
Since you don't want to comment, let me move away from the tax. Let's look at the capital market.
Capital market.
Okay. How best can the capital market play a role to ensure that our economy stabilizes, at least so that the man on the street can spend his minimum wage effectively?
Okay, so what is the capital market? You're talking about the stocks and the shares and all that. Good.
Can we have more companies registered and then they register on the stock exchange so that, I mean, these things can just play out. We talked about an environment for the private sector to come into play.
Very true.
So would that in any way help?
Okay, let's talk about the capital markets. What determines share prices? I mean, without you doing share fixing. So, which is typically what determines the share price. Why would you buy Lever Brothers and you won't buy Adams Value Company Limited? It's simple. Lever Brothers is making profit. That's the most simplistic way to put it. So you would go to a company who is what they would call a blue chip company. Forget even whether it's blue chip, but the most important is a profitable company. You won't buy your shares in a company that for the past 10 years has been recording its losses. So the first thing is that the companies have to be what? Profitable. What drives profitability? Production and sales. It's I produce, I'm able to sell. What drives sales? Consumption. Because people have to consume. You all have to be wearing this jacket for the person who is producing this jacket to go to the to go back and produce more. So when you're not buying this jacket, what happens? Sales drops.
Let's look at it this way. In the past few weeks, we've had the bank stocks and sometimes the oil companies, their stocks are the ones that are selling. Would you say that
for the past 2 weeks? Sorry.
For the past few weeks, we've had what are the companies driving? What shares are driving the market? The bank shares, banks, and some oil blue chip companies. So is it that they're very profitable?
I'm sorry. You have to respond to that when we return from the break in just a moment. Join us again. Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Let's start. Could you rephrase your question?
We're talking about the capital market and how it can come into play an intermediary role in terms of financing, especially for the state and all of that. So, and then I was asking you the question about in the past few weeks, you were talking about some stocks that are some companies that are making profit and their shares are being purchased as often as possible. And I said, is it that the banks are making a lot of profit? That's why people go for their shares a lot.
Banks always make profit. I mean, really.
Because their shares have been driving the market. But let's look at how the stock market can actually play that intermediary role in terms of financing. Yeah,
well, basically the capital market. So when you talk about the stock market, you have the primary market, you have the secondary market. So secondary market is where you have. So basically, if you say how can the capital market help in this kind of financing? Now, the capital market isn't just, it's a place where you can raise capital. So yes, but again, it's not just for you to walk up and say, oh, I want to raise capital because I want to start a textile company. Even you, if you're going to buy into the perspective of a company, you want to know what is the viability of this company. Realistically speaking, let's do a simple analysis. Oh, the company is saying, I'm going to produce 8,000 units of this per day. Do they really have the capacity? Maybe I should first answer your question. Can the capital market play a role? Yes. But it's not, again, it's the way we always answer the question in a very simplistic way. Oh, yes, it can work. Oh, yes, it can work. What are the things? What are the enablers is the word. What are the enablers to make this thing work? And until the enablers are there, yes, it can work. So, yes, anti-malaria will cure your malaria. But you have to first take anti-malaria. You understand? And then it's even worse when they tell you, when you take anti-malaria, please don't take citruses. And you choose to take citruses. So you reduce again. So life is not as simple as saying, A, B, C, can it work? The capital market can play a role. But again, even you, it's you and I that'll buy shares in the capital market. The capital market doesn't plug its money from the skies. You and I would have to know what is the potential viability of these companies. So again, it comes back to how realistic is their business projections. So can the capital market play a role? Yes, yes, yes. Can the banks play a role? Yes, yes, yes. But even a bank, remember again, even if we take out the long-term financing from the capital market and talk about the banks, people are clamoring. I'm an ex-banker. People clamor and say, why are the banks not giving loans? They're not helping the real sector. We've heard a lot of that clamor. Isn't it true? It is true, but not without a reason. What's the reason? Good. Now, for the banks, of course, there is the culture thing, which is that Nigerian banks are very short-termed in their profitability. They want the profit to spin around. But again, as much as possible, you also have to look at that the bank that is borrowing you its money, it's not his money. It's your money, it's my money, and they have to guarantee that that money will be paid. So at the end of the day, it's not as simple as saying the banks sit down and discretionarily say, oh, we want to give to this sector, we want to give to that sector. Unfortunately, again, a bank is still a business. So they will go for that company, for that business that gives them the fastest return. And in Nigeria, it has always been, it's faster to give to importer who pays it in 90 days than to give to the real sector that does not begin to turn around its profit until about 5 years. Which again comes back to the fact that government has to play a role. And I'm glad some things are coming up. Whether it will be used properly is another thing. Now you have the agri loans, you have all those things that the government is putting in place, trying to boost that sector. Time will tell whether, you know, that money will be channeled. Well, yes, indeed, and that's all the time we have, incidentally. Adama Sali, who is a management consultant, she's also the founder and CEO of Clayfields and Harrow Limited. Thank you for talking to us today. Thank you very much. That's the show today. We thank you all for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain Uso. I'm Nel Taigwe. Have yourself a good day.
Thank you. I'm Maokbe Ogun.